Hi everyone. I'm gonna try this again because we were having issues with sound. So please do let me know if you all can hear me. Oh dear, we were having issues with the sound. And it was scratching a lot on the last podcast. So just a quick check with the sound. Please let me know that you can hear me and that you can hear me okay, because it was so bad that I had to stop last time. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, how are we doing for sound? Like, once you let me know how it is, then we can continue. I think it's okay. Let me just try and listen to myself in my headphones. You can hear me loud and clear. Okay, I think I know what the problem was now, actually. There's two internet connections that are labeled almost the same on the Wi-Fi. And I think I was connected to the other one and that's why it was scratching. Okay, so problem solved. Very much sorry about that. Please just let me know as we're going through the podcast if it is still bad or it gets bad again. And I'm very, very, very sorry about that. But thank you all for coming back. So let's just get straight into it. For those of you that had the unfortunate experience of listening to my scratchy voice on the last podcast, we've had to restart again. So first things first, our first bit of super news is that Harry and Meghan are indeed going to be producing a movie for Archwell Productions, and it is to do with the war in Afghanistan, obviously very close to Harry as he served 2 tours. So No Way Out, the searing true story of Men Under Siege, tells the story of Easy Company, a unit of Paras and Royal Irish Rangers that was tasked with holding a district in Helmand Province in July 2006 during the war in Afghanistan. The story by Major Adam Jowett, who led the unit, is now being developed as a feature film by Prince Harry and Meghan the Duchess of Sussex. So you can see a fantastic range of productions that Harry and Meghan are focusing on, whether it's more philanthropic stuff like with Invictus. They tried to do some reality TV stuff. The first round of Polo didn't quite work as reality TV, but they're pivoting to a more drama focus, and I think it will actually work very well as drama focus. They're also producing a romance film as well, and now this, looking more at real life, hard-hitting stories like this, I think is fantastic as well. And they've also done the documentary features like Live to Lead. So very diverse media, interesting stories, things that are going to appeal to a wide range of people. And Meghan was, of course, developing Pearl. Didn't make it through production, but you could see again just the range of things that they are trying to do with Archwell. And I'm sure something like Pearl will probably come up again. And I would actually love to see some interesting animation from Archwell Productions as well. I think animation is very underrated. So yet another great choice for Archwell Productions. So that's that. Also, big story of the day. Meghan will be off to Switzerland to inaugurate the Lost Screen Memorial. Now, if you have been following, you will know that the Lost Screen Memorial is an interactive live art LED display memorial where they have these what look like big phones with the pictures of those young people who either directly or indirectly have lost their lives as a result of the dark side of social media. And she'll be joined by Director General Dr. Tedros of the WHO with an event hosted by the WHO and Arch of Philanthropies ahead of the 79th World Health Assembly being held in Geneva. So I don't know if Meghan is also staying to speak at that event or doing other stuff while she's there, but most definitely she is there to unveil this memorial. I actually think there should be a memorial like this everywhere, because this is an issue affecting people everywhere, especially young people, especially women and girls. Well, there's obviously it affects young men and young women, but there is also the gendered aspect in the way that it affects young girls. There was a bunch of protests, I think it was in Brazil. Schoolgirls left the school and were protesting outside. They refused to go in because boys had taken their pictures and were making AI corn. You know what I mean when I say corn? AI corn videos of them. So yeah, it does affect both young men and young women, but there's also the gendered aspect of all of this as well. And this is just such an important issue. There needs to be a memorial like this. And also with the memorial, I think there should also be an educational side to this as well, like an education centre or something. And the stories of each person, you should be able to read them on the back. I don't know if that's something that's featured as part of the installations, where you actually know the stories of the people that were lost. This must be so impactful at night, especially like when you see the glow of the screens, but even during the day. And Meghan was packing with her little helper in her gorgeous wardrobe. Look at how long Lily's ginger hair is. So Meghan posted this image on Saturday, writing, "Mama's little helper." As you can see, Lily is playing in her mum's closet. Or at least we're assuming it's her closet, actually. We're assuming it's her closet. And Meghan was picking out clothes because she's off to Switzerland. So the installation will have 50 light boxes, each displaying the lock screen image of a child who lost their life as a result of online violence and digital harm. At the ceremony, Meghan will pay tribute to the children remembered in the installation and underscore the urgent need for stronger global protections for children online. Amy Neville, an online child safety advocate whose son Alexander is amongst those in the exhibition, will also address the guests. The memorial, which will be displayed in Geneva through May 22nd, was created by Meghan and Prince Harry's Arch of Philanthropies in partnership with the Parents Network. The installation is debuting in Geneva after it was first unveiled in New York City in April as part of the No Child Lost to Social Media campaign. So, yeah, by my next podcast today, well, it's today for me, it's still tomorrow for you folks, we will get those pictures. I mean, we don't know how long she'll be in Switzerland or what else she's doing. But we do know that Meghan likes to do other impactful things. And given that this is actually, you know, the World Health Organization is there, this isn't just like a fashion event or something like what she went for in Paris, so she may well do some other things as well. Okay. I don't know what designer that is that she's wearing, but it is very gorgeous, like a soft lavender. I'm sure it will look stunning wherever she's wearing it. Oh, thank you so much, Black Queen. Oh, intro music is still on. Are you serious? Oh my god, I did not realize because it was off on my headphones. I hope it's not like annoyingly loud. Oh god, we are not having a great day with the podcast today. I hope it hasn't been too annoyingly loud that you can't hear it. I'm so sorry about that. He said, I can't imagine Meghan staying too long in Switzerland. It's her wedding anniversary on Tuesday. Oh, yes. That is a good point. The music hasn't been too distracting, has it, folks? We could still hear all good. Okay. I'm glad that StreamYard at least mutes the noise so that you could still hear me. Maybe she'll stop in Italy too, who knows? Oh, thank you so much, Jinrock. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Can't wait to see pictures of Meghan looking amazing in Geneva. And who knows, she might stop over to some other places. You never know. I mean, I know it's her wedding anniversary, but you don't know. Let's look at William. Now, what did I say? What did I say about William and his obsession with football? He's going to football matches more than he's doing anything else at this point. So William will indeed fly 3,900 miles to support Aston Villa on Wednesday. This man is not interested in working at all. At all. Because what do you mean you're off 3,900 miles to support Aston Villa? I want to also just mention something. I will get on to Harry's article that he wrote in New Statesman later. But yesterday, the UK, well, London saw some of the biggest far-right rallies it has seen since, we might have to go all the way back to maybe 80s to find these types of images. Now, they weren't as big as they're trying to make them out to be, but they were sizable. There were some pretty sizable crowds of far-right folk. And it is quite scary. I do believe that these protesters and these far-right folk have been emboldened by MAGA in the US. I believe that they are very much emboldened and inspired by them. And I don't even believe that they're even the quarter of the country yet. But if we're not careful, we could get there, and then they'll become the half. It's a very, very slippery slope if you allow these people to feel too comfortable, as we've seen in the United States. So we have to be very, very careful. And it's just interesting that as Harry has written an article for New Statesman on anti-racism, William is just like, I'm staying out of this. Not saying anything about what's been going on. And he's off to play football. After we've had some of the biggest far-right rallies that we've seen in a while, William is off to play football. Well, his brother Harry is trying to say something. Anyway, let's read this about William, and then we'll get to Harry's article. Now, mind you, Prince William didn't do much of anything last week. He had one semi-public event in Birmingham. He opened up a men's mental health centre. He also had a private event at Windsor. But no real work. As usual, that's work for them. William doing 2 events, quite frankly, as lazy as they were, that's almost like pulling teeth. I'm sure they had to beg him to leave the house. But William managed to leave the house on Saturday because football. Two football games in 5 days. And now he's off to Turkey. Istanbul. Game kicks off at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. I mean, it's also just the fact that he's going to a whole nother country. He refused to fly to Australia in 2023 to support the Lionesses when they made it to the Women's World Cup final. And that was back when he was actual FA president. Now his position has been downgraded to FA patron. William only shows up for men's football. And he shows up for men's football more than he shows up for any other important event or charity. And we know now that even the whole veneer of charity is a farce. Yes, Tom Sykes is going to Switzerland. He is indeed going to a whole nother country to stalk someone who you say is irrelevant. Lottie, thank you so much for the super sticker. Ooh, let me just make some acknowledgements. If William is so passionate about football, then the least he could do is advocate for football programs for kids in different enfranchised communities. Oh, what a fantastic idea, Sonda. I think the palace should hire you. Because that is such an obvious thing that William could do. Thank you so much, Lottie, for the super sticker. Thank you again, Black Queen. And Black Queen, you said today's my daughter's 32nd birthday. My second daughter was April 5th. She turned 25. My only son will turn 21 on May 9th. Couple of milestones. Happy birthday to them all. Wishing them all many more birthdays and health. And thank you so much for being an online mother presence in our space, Black Queen. Appreciate you so much. Hope they all have fantastic birthdays. Yeah, Tom Sykes actually did a video. I mean, these people are ridiculous. Even if I had the money right now to get on a plane and hop on over to Switzerland to go see if I could get a glimpse of Meghan, I wouldn't do it. And you got the so-called haters who can't stop following our faves around. Absolute loser behavior. Loser behavior. Anyway, William will be in Istanbul, Turkey, being a hooligan as he always is. He'll get to let out his rage and retching and tantrums over in Istanbul. Oh dear. At what point do people realize that they're just being had? Because what do you mean he's basically gone another holiday? Let's just be honest. Istanbul is gorgeous, by the way. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But why is the British taxpayer paying for William to basically have another holiday? Unbelievable. Now, while William is going for another holiday, Harry is writing in New Statesman about the rise in British hate crimes. Now, mind you, New Statesman is quite right-leaning. Interesting choice to put this article in that publication, but I guess people who read that publication need to read it more than anyone. So Prince Harry is due to visit Birmingham in July for the 1 year to go Invictus Games events. It's still up in the air as to whether Duchess Meghan will join him and whether they bring the kids to possibly spend some time with Charles well ahead of Harry's Birmingham visit. He's written an essay in the British outlet The New Statesman. He's calling out the rising anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim hate crimes in the UK. He wrote this following yet another horrific anti-Semitic terrorist attack in London earlier this month. And here is a bit from the piece. Over the past several years, I've spoken about the consequences of a world in which outrage outpaces humanity, where fear and division are amplified faster than truth, and where people are too easily reduced to categories, identities, or opposing roles. What concerns me now is how dangerously some of that moral blurring is taking hold across parts of Britain. And you saw it in the rallies yesterday. There are moments when the values we hold are tested, not in principle, but in practice. Moments when staying silent is easier. But speaking out is necessary. I have always believed that we have a responsibility to stand against injustice whenever we see it, and to do so in defense of our shared humanity. That belief does not change with geography, nor does it yield to discomfort. It is precisely why I feel compelled to speak now. At times like this, silence is not neutrality. Silence is absence too often. It is that instinct to stand on the sidelines that allows hatred and extremism to flourish unchecked. Britain has long prided itself on valuing reason over outrage, dialogue over division, and civility over noise. At moments like these, those values matter more than ever. Across the country, we are seeing a deeply troubling rise in anti-Semitism. Jewish communities, families, children, ordinary people are being made to feel unsafe in the very places they call home. That should alarm us, but also unite us, because hatred directed at people for who they are or what they believe is not protest, it is prejudice. Recent incidents, including lethal violence in London and Manchester, have brought this into sharp and deeply troubling focus. Across the globe, there is deep and justified alarm in the scale of loss in the Middle East. Images from Gaza, Lebanon, and the wider region of devastated communities and entire neighborhoods, leveled and reduced to rubble, have shaken people to their core. For many, the instinct to speak out, to march, to demand accountability, to call for an end of suffering is both human and necessary. But these two realities are being dangerously conflated. We have seen how legitimate protest against state actions in the Middle East does exist alongside hostility towards Jewish communities at home, just as we have also seen how criticism of those actions can be too easily dismissed or mischaracterized. Nothing, whether criticism of a government or the reality of violence and destruction, can ever justify hostility toward an entire people or faith. So Harry also references his 2005 incident where he wore an NAZI costumes for his birthday party, and the photos were published in the British tabloids. Harry goes on to write, I am acutely aware of my own past mistakes, thoughtless actions for which I have apologized, taken responsibility, and learnt from. That experience informs my conviction that clarity matters now more than ever. At a time when confusion and the distortion of truth are doing real harm, even when speaking plainly is not without consequence, it requires responsibility from us all. So eloquently said. Apparently, during Harry's visit to Ukraine, his speech was allegedly vetted by British Foreign Minister Yvette Cooper. And oh, sorry, give me one sec, folk. It's interesting. Sorry, I lost my trail of thought there, but there was something that Charles, let me just find it. There was something that Charles wrote. And I'm wondering. Oh, yes. Charles also, following that anti-Semitic attack, Charles made a visit to Golders Green, which is it's an area that has a large Jewish population. And Charles got a very good reception. And the visit, it came, just hours beforehand. Harry obviously put out his piece. And I'm wondering, was on this particular issue, was there some kind of direct coordination? I don't know. Especially given that a few weeks ago, you had Charles's speech at the US Congress sounded very much like Harry's speeches and statements about Ukraine, NATO, and Afghanistan. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, let's see what you're saying. But that was a very beautiful piece. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I can't take off the paywall from New Statesman, and I'm not giving any money to New Statesman, and the anti-paywall isn't working. But I think what I read there, that was taken on another site, I think just spoke to how beautifully Harry writes his words. Wendy, you said William is checked out to do royal duties, always available for football. I mean, what is he gonna do when he's king? He's only working 1 day a week, if that, working with a small W. Dear oh dear. William is not cut out for greatness. I mean, is this what we're gonna get in the future? Oh, is YM Droid there? Yes. William is researching hair transfers. I feel like he should while he's there. Why not? Nor do you think that Charles did copy Harry's speech? I mean, I certainly think he's being inspired. Okay, on to Kate. Kate's been having an interesting time over in Italy. There were some rather interesting interactions. Now, these children were looking confused. And you know what's so crazy? Let's shout out to these young ladies out here. You know what's so crazy is in the past in this podcast, I have filled up 3 whole slides with different screenshots with kids having this reaction to William and Kate. It's just so strange. And it's the energy that you carry with you. Children especially can feel it. I'm actually going to play the video, and I promise you the video is actually worse. Like, if you think this is just like a short moment that the photographer caught, no. Them children were looking incredibly confused and wondering, why is this lady talking to me? And then there was this moment here, a perfect PR moment. And I want you to remember why it is that Kate was here. She's here to talk about early childhood development. This lady is hanging her baby, a rather cute baby, by the way, hanging that cute baby out for the royal to give a hug and a cuddle. Let me tell you right now, if this was Harry and Meghan, oh my God, you would have gotten the cutest moment on the whole tour. This lady is literally hanging her baby over the barricade, Michael Jackson style, and Kate ignores the baby. That was a PR shot for you right there. How did you miss that? How did you miss that? A whole cute baby dangling. I mean, even just on a, like, forget about the PR, just like on a human level. How do you see someone dangling their cute baby and not take the baby? And then here's the one with the kids. Let me play that again. The one I find most hilarious. Now, she actually, by the way, the one with the baby, right? She actually does go back the second time. And then they actually do manage to get, I don't have the picture with me now, but just so you know that I'm not being completely biased, she actually does go back a second time. I think her PR sent her back. And she actually does smile at the baby, and the baby does smile at her. But I just don't understand how you would miss that. She's dangling the baby, wiggling around the baby. So they did manage to get their PR shot of her smiling at the baby. But the first time, she ignores the baby. And you know what? So the picture that they actually got, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's actually adorable. Like, the baby is adorable. I didn't put it on my slide, but they did actually get a picture of Kate giving the coo to the cute baby. But let me tell you, the baby is doing so much heavy lifting. The baby is the cutest thing in this picture. But it's just so funny how she missed it the first time and then had to be sent back. Can't even do PR right. And the thing is that if you only look at the video, sorry, if you only look at the pictures, sorry, like for example, the ones that they got in People magazine, where she did eventually go back and not ignore the baby, and she's actually smiling at the baby, and the baby's smiling at her. You would think, or you wouldn't even know that she walked past the baby the first time. When the mum was dangling the baby right there, like, here's my baby, here's your perfect PR shot. They had to send her back. Oh my gosh. Okay, now we have some other awkward parts. This is her talking, or mumbling, should I say. I think she visited a school.
But is it busy for everybody? Is everyone sort of back in? Have you been sort of? There's been lots of illnesses going around, hasn't there?
No, we've had all that.
Okay. Actually, I don't think that is from this trip. I do apologize. I don't think that is from this trip, but definitely an example of her mumbling. Scrap that, scrap that. That wasn't from this trip. That's probably what she's been sounding like this whole trip. Let me play the other footage. I think this is from when she was doing the cooking. Let's have a watch of this one.
Jesus. Hey! Ha!
Oh my god. Did you?
No.
What?
Okay.
Vai de fave de né?
What is so strange to me about that footage is how she seems to look almost allergic to cooking. Now, granted, they do have butlers and whatnot in the royal household, but we're told constantly that they do their own cooking or whatever. That's kind of the narrative that they've created over the years. And maybe they do their own cooking sometimes, but and I'm not expecting anybody to be a pasta expert, but it's just like, it's almost like she doesn't know what to do with her hands while touching the food. She hasn't got her hair tied up, touching her hair, touching the food. Also, they put her in the suit knowing that she was going to do this event. And then what was even more weird is they had her doing what at one point in this trip? Making clay. Like Meghan was doing on her Australian trip. Interesting coincidence. Interesting coincidence. I mean, it's just sad. And in many ways, I don't want to take any all responsibility away from Kate, because at the end of the day, she could have chosen to do a lot more during her time as a working royal. I think she went into this institution just wanting to be the empty vessel that they expect you to be. And then Meghan came along and the game changed. But you also have to realize, and the institution should have realized, there should have been more effort to just do what needed to be done to bring the institution into the modern age. But we see over and over again how that was just never a priority to this institution. They want to stay exactly the way they are. In fact, if they could, they'd go back another 500 years. They'd go back another 500 years. This visit is meant to be about the early years. It's meant to be about education and being keen about changing the subject from a very successful trip to Australia, but it's just not hitting. It is just not hitting. Anyway, I would say this hasn't been a bad trip for Kate, but it's just not been anything of real substance. And then you've got Tom Sykes, hasn't gone to Italy to follow Kate, but he's gone to Switzerland to follow Meghan. And I'm pretty sure some of the other Royal Rota rats have done that as well. I don't actually know who is out there with Kate out of the Rota. I know that Chris Ship was invited to Ukraine to cover Harry. I don't know who's out there with her. Maybe Chris Jackson for photography. Did they send Rihanna Mills, maybe? The new head of royal reporting? Who knows? I can't be bothered to check. Because if Tom Sykes is getting on a plane to go to Switzerland to follow Meghan, I'm pretty sure that's what the others are now scrambling to do as well. Oh, I finally, by the way, got screenshots of those sizing charts that people were talking about for As Ever. So we've got for children, unisex, male, female, adult, shirt, all the way from extra, extra large going down to extra small. They could probably add extra, extra small, by the way. Very interesting. Now, this was taken off. I think that As Ever will start with basic wear, like basic tees, things that you can just throw on, layer. Simple, minimalist, and then they will work up. I think that's what they'll do. Alrighty. Was there anything else that I wanted to mention? Oh yes, somebody posted this. Cute little moment. The Duchess making memories at 35,000 feet. On May 4th, AA Stews shared this wonderful glimpse of Meghan with their crew. Their page is a fantastic community featuring the flight attendant life and sharing the daily adventures and views of flight attendants. They describe this moment with Meghan as a Princess Diaries airline edition. We love seeing Meghan's radiant smile and the kindness she shows to those working in the sky. Lovely. How lucky of them. Also, just to let you know, this picture that I showed earlier of Meghan, that was from the Tracy James collection. Tracy James, friend of hers, businesswoman, also partnered to one of the CEOs of Paramount. I love that they're helping to support each other's businesses. You got, Tracy's clothing, Meghan's pantry goodies. I'm actually wondering the sizing of the website. Do you think that maybe they could add some stuff from Tracy James' collection onto the As Ever site? Who knows? Because I'm just thinking of the conversation that Meghan had with Emma Greedy. You know, she did say that clothing could be a thing, but the way that from the way that she was talking, this is just my perception, by the way, not that I know anything by fact, but it was almost like she was saying, oh, it's coming, but like a future thing, but not near future. And then when Emma said, okay, we'll talk. So could it be that perhaps they could stock another brand on as ever? I mean, the only reason I say that is because they've done that collaboration with the floral company. So they are collaborating with other brands. Or it could just be that they're launching something specifically for as ever. Could be either or some kind of collab. Tracy James and as ever. I guess we'll see very soon. All right. I think that's all I wanted to mention for today. Thank you for sticking with me, folks. My gosh, we had to restart because the last podcast was awful. And then the intro wouldn't play the first 2 minutes of this podcast. And then I still had the sound on. I didn't even realize. But we made it to the end. We made it to the end. Oh, thank you so much, Black Queen. You said Mumbles didn't want the baby to grab her away. Oh, dear. Look at the different levels of what the heck on their faces. I'm telling you, those kids are like, who? You're meant to be a princess? Who? They were so confused. They couldn't be more confused. Who is this person? Why are they talking to me? Yeah, the PR definitely sent her back. I mean, they got their images in the end. But they had to send her back. Yeah, she waved at them kids. Them kids were looking confused. It's always interesting to see how children react to Harry and Meghan and then how they react to Kate and William. Yeah, the kid in the middle is so confused. Let me play it again. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Dear oh dear. I mean, we are realistically, don't mean to sound morbid, but we are realistically getting closer and closer to the time when, you know, Charles Charles will the end of his reign will come. And William and Kate, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Yeah, the 5 questions, the early years, the baby's brains, whatever it is. Whatever it is. It genuinely looks like Kate could not peel an orange. Helen, you said do their own cooking, my behind. Well, the narrative that they have tried to create over the years is that they are the more normal royals, the more normal royals that live in these estates. But to me, this just looks like her trying to mimic Meghan. Yep, even the same flat shoes. Wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing selfies from inside of the palace. And why did they send her to do this particular cooking thing in a suit? And we're there to bring awareness to childhood development, and apparently this particular region has a very particular way with how they do childhood development and schooling and whatnot. That's what she was there for. And they had her out here cooking pasta. Now I know we're in Italy, but the trip was meant to be about childhood development. I guess she wanted to do something, show that the royals are culturally aware and whatnot, but I've seen more about Kate with that pasta than whatever it is she was actually there for. Benjamin, you said, I specifically recall when they got married, it was said that Kate enjoys cooking, and then it was said she has someone prep and she takes over to cook. That was what was said. Okay. So was it all lies? Watching that video, it looks like it was. The thing is, we know that Meghan can actually cook. Angela Thomas, she said, do you think the far-right crowd is the Brexit crowd rebranded, just like MAGA is a Tea Party? 100%. 100%. And the far-right in the UK are very much feeling emboldened because of MAGA in the US. So, the rallies, they were pretty sizable. Let's not lie about that. And that is very worrying. I don't think, I've seen on my feed a lot of people like, oh, there weren't even like 50,000. No, we weren't even getting into the hundreds of thousands. I'm like, listen, there shouldn't be a crowd of 3 of these people. There shouldn't even be a crowd of 3. Let alone the thousands that were genuinely there. You can't allow these things to escalate. You can't allow them to have too much space or too much of a say. Then it just gets out of hand. If you're not careful, you will have full-on MAGA in the UK. I believe it's going there. If we're not careful, we can't allow it. Yes, Joseph. What woman wouldn't die to visit Meghan's closet? Indeed. Suzette, you said Willie Leaks historically doesn't care or show support for any charity unless it's trying to show up as Sussex is or to continue his one-sided competition. Indeed. I thank you so much for using the name Willie Leaks because I'd even forgotten that we called him that. Alright folks, gonna end things there. We will see Meghan tomorrow, or today rather. Cannot wait to see what she's wearing and what she's had to say because our girl is both smart and stylish. See you in the next podcast, folks. Ciao.